Welcome back to another episode of the server performance benchmark implementation in Swift and in Hummingbird. So let's do a small recap. What did we talk about? I already gave you some small introduction to the whole setup, to the project, what we're going to do, what we're going to use, everything. I already did one episode on the project setup itself, which is everything connected to the package.swift file and everything in it. Then we created the model, we created the migration, we created the repository service. I did the executable, and last time we had a pretty extensive course on secrets and how to use them and what to do and all this. Today, we're finally trying to get all the different parts together. So the app builder. This is the topic for today. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So here you can still see the secrets from last time. Today we're going to talk about the app, and we have to change some things in the executable. So let me first clean up a little bit. Okay, so executable, there you go, app arguments. So, okay. This is something I found on the examples for Hummingbird. Pretty nice idea. So what you can do is you can basically create a protocol that will just use those three. Let's see, this one, this one, this one. Those three arguments, put them in a protocol and say, hey, here, those are the ones that you want to give, which I really, really like. So those are called app arguments. Let's start with the foundation, of course, and then this is going to be a public protocol app arguments. Okay, in here, I basically want to have hostname, port, and in-memory database. Just like that. Okay. And that is basically it. So this should work right now. I have the app right here. I can say app arguments. This should work. So I will also remove the common part because I want to remove the secrets right here. This is something we will do later on. And for now, those are the arguments that I will pass to my app builder. And now I can just say, hey, app builder, take me, and you will get all the information you need. Okay. So let's close this, makes this bigger, perfect. The app builder. This is going to be the monster which puts it all together. Okay. Let's start with some imports. Okay. Important import foundation. Then I need Hummingbird. Then I need Hummingbird Fluent. Then I also need the Fluent Postgres driver and the Fluent SQLite driver. I do, let's see. Need the service. I need common in here, and I might also need the domain part, which we haven't done yet, but we will do. Those are the last 3 episodes we'll do. Okay, and I think that is already it. Okay, so this is going to be public. This is going to be a final class, the app builder. Okay, so as I said before, this one will actually use all the app arguments, so I need a reference to it. Arguments, app arguments. Okay, and with that I need a public init, that works. And basically I only want to have one function which will say, hey, make the application do whatever you want, put all the stuff together, and then pass it back to me. Okay. And with that, pretty easy, right? So this is going to be a public function. It's going to say make. It's going to be async. I might need a throws in there, but I'm not sure yet. Any application protocol. There you go. Okay, so let's start simple. Return application. Perfect. I can use router, responder. No, I'm going to use this one. Okay, so I do need some kind of router, yes. Nope. Let's do it like this. Router. Okay. That is the most advanced application I've ever written. Okay, so there's a router and there's an application. Okay, so where's my database? Where do I use the arguments? All this. Okay, so let's start a little bit earlier. So okay, let's say my app will be this, and in the end I will return it, right? This still works. Okay. One nice thing about the app is that you can actually say add services, which is something I need to do. So the idea would be, as long as this application is running, all the services are also running. If the app is shutting down, then please also shut down all the services. Pretty simple. I don't want to have any programs still running while the main application isn't running. So I will definitely use this. One thing I have to add here is this is going to be Fluent, which is actually a service that will be able to shut down in the end. And let's just start with that. So this is going to be some kind of Fluent. So okay, this is already in here. Let's start with this. So how did that happen? It's going to be Fluent, and I need to have some kind of function for it. So let's call it make Fluent. Okay. Right in here. Private function make Fluent, and this will of course return Fluent. Okay. This should be pretty easy. Let's see, return Fluent. Nice. I only need a logger, so let logger equals label. Let's say this is going to be Fluent, and perfect. That's all. Maybe. So basically Fluent will be my ORM. This is my connection to the database. So I might want to do something more here. Okay, so let's say this is Fluent. And in the end, I want to return this. Okay. So in here, I also want to make sure, hey, if the user who starts the application, the executable, wants to have an in-memory database, please do so. If not, then get the normal database, the Postgres database. Okay, so if, how do I call it? Oh, arguments, in-memory database. So if the user does want to have an in-memory database, then I can say Fluent databases dot use SQLite. Is that correct? Yeah. and say this one. That's pretty easy. Okay, else. I also want to make sure that if it's not supposed in in-memory database, it's supposed to use some kind of environmental variables to connect to my Postgres server. So same thing here. Fluent databases use .postgres. Perfect. Configuration and as, okay, this one is pretty simple. Configuration part might not be as simple. Okay, so let configuration. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Host name, username, port, password, database. Perfect. That's exactly what I have in all my secrets. So let's do this. Maybe let's export this to something else. Private function create Postgres configuration. And this will basically return this. Okay. I want to use all of those. So, do we have secrets? We do. Host name, let's say db. Perfect. There we go. Now it's getting interesting. Secrets.db port. Yes. Perfect. And I called this name. And here I'm basically just going to say disabled. That works like a charm. Okay, let's say this is create database. That should work. Put the config in here and return it afterwards. Perfect. All done. Okay, Fluent, make. All right. So what else do we need to do with Fluent? We need to add our migrations. Remember from previous episode? Okay. So, oops, not in here. Let's say database migrations. Add migrations to Fluent. Ah, perfect. It all works. So this one is supposed to be awaited. And what else do we need? Okay, so we have, oops. Okay, those are going to be routes. Then let's say we do need the service. Service factory make. Nice. That also works. Okay, then we don't have our controllers yet, which is fine. We'll come to that later on. But something that I can do in here is get a configuration. And let's see what it has. Address, server name, backlog. Perfect. Address, server name. Server name is nice. Okay. Some things I need. Let config equals, let's see. Address. What's this one? Host name. Oh, perfect. Arguments dot host name. Arguments dot port. Perfect. So now I've used in-memory database, hostname, and port. All I wanted. Okay, this is going to be configuration. And then, as I said before, application.add_service. Oh, already did this one. Perfect. So that Fluent isn't running after the application actually stopped. And now what I need to do is I actually need to say the application run before start. Hi, hi. Okay, run before start. And now I want to try await Fluent migrate. So this is going to be difficult because the run before server start will be awaited, but the problem is the catching part. So what I can do here is I can say, hey, Fluent, use your logger and tell me this should be an error and this should be okay, and this should be reflecting the error I get. We could say to stop here, but I think it's fine like this. We don't really need anything else. All right, so we created the Fluent, we did the migration, we actually trigger the migration, then we have our service, and we do our little dance with the hostname and the port. Perfect. Have the router. This one is unused yet, but will be in the future episode. We have to add Fluent to our services and do all the magic. Okay. How about we run this now? Let's see if it works. Ooh, of course not. App is a let. Well, that should not be the case. Okay, let's run it again. Cannot convert value string. I gotta be kidding me. Does that work? Of course. So this one is fine because this one is going to be used in the domain things. So that's all good. And let's see, how does this? Oh yeah. Of course, want this. And if that doesn't work, then we can still say that's the default part. All right, run it. Let's see. Build successful. Perfect. It's already ending. Woohoo! Okay, one last part, because this is not being called at all right now. So we need to change something here. All right, let's get rid of all this stuff, because this was nice and fun, but we actually need something more. So what we want to do here is let the app builder be app builder, and of course use the arguments, and we're going to use ourselves for that. Then I want to create the app, which will be weighted app builder make perfect, and then try await app dot run service. Okay. So one thing I haven't moved yet. I erased it from the executable itself, but I haven't called it yet. So the app builder, one of the first things I have to do to make sure is actually to call let's see, where do we put it? So this is on, I think. Okay, so the thing I was talking about is we need to do this little verify magic. This is going to be a try. The problem is this one won't throw right now. Let's just see if that works. We're going to do throw here. I'll do that. Okay, might be able to remove this one. Yeah, now we have to say try await. Let's see if that works. Ooh, I already see some output right here. Okay, so what do we have? It's starting to prepare the migration for create book models, and it finished it. And now it's running. There you go. Okay, full success for today. And with that, let's go back to our roadmap. The app builder is done. Almost. We still need to add the endpoints or the domain, however you want to call it, but we haven't done the endpoints yet. So those will be done in the next couple of episodes. So with that, I hope you had fun today. See you next time. Bye.